Good morning, and welcome to Wednesday Wellness. We are here for you, and as you know, Wednesday is all about the wellness of yourself. The wellness of yourself and your being able to get well. Good morning for everyone that is on. And thank you for joining Vibe Talk Facing the Lion podcast. Can everyone hear me okay? I'm hoping that you will be able to hear me. I want to say good morning to all of you out there because you're listening worldwide. And just let me tell you how far you guys are listening. You're listening from Australia, Greece, the Netherlands, United States, Germany, Canada, and all over the USA. So thank you so much for feeling that we are important enough. Wednesday Wellness is all about you welling yourself. Welling yourself is not the easiest thing to be done. Can I just say that? Today I have my Mickey Mouse statue shoe in front of everything, so I do apologize. How are you welling yourself? Let's start there. Are you welling yourself in that you want to be part of? I once was not my greatest self, but I worked on myself to get better myself. Have you not felt like that? Or are you sounding like this? And I'll read this because I think it's worth reading. It says, to the one struggling with all that goes unnoticed to everyone else, this is for you. I've been in similar shoes many times before, still find myself lacing them up sometimes, and I know you're fighting a battle no one else can understand. I know all too well how it feels to be alone in that dark, searching for a sign, a light, a reason that says, stay. I know how deep that emptiness inside is, how nothing feels it other than hopelessness. But I also know that you are still here, searching, fighting, hoping, praying, and that is everything. You keep fighting. You stay here. Hold that hope in your hands like the only light you've ever seen, and let it be enough to guide you out of your own dark, because just on the other side, not far up the road, is the purpose you've been searching for. It's been searching for you too. You'll see it soon. Keep going. That is written by Stephanie Bennett Henry. I really, really like that. So we're here for you. But can I ask you a question? Are you here for yourselves? We are at the tail end, the very last day of July 2020. 2024. Never to be repeated. How has July treated you? Have you saw change? Did you wish and hope for a change? By the way, today's project is yourself. You are your greatest project. And the reason why I like these projects is because I know that there are layers of us. We talked about this the last time. And the layers of yourself, you know, all of us come in different levels. And like this butterfly that you're looking at, and you can take a look at today's Wednesday Wellness on YouTube. You'll see it. We'll leave it up there for you to think about the layers. Today's art through expression, or expression through art. I want you to be able to take each one of those layers, and do me a favor, as you look at each one of the layers, I want you to compare what you've worked on versus what you're still working on. Be creative. I want you to layer every section where you see the butterfly, and I want you to color it, how it makes you feel. And that should be a very beautiful project, because working on you is the best part of everything else. Today is our motto: get well, stay well, and be well. And is that what you all would like to do? Because I surely would like to do that as I work on me. And feelings are really something to work on. They're really something, and it's certainly something to consider your being well. So, how are you managing? Lines are open. Ladies and gentlemen, lines are open. And we want to invite you. To get online with us. By the way, I have some announcements that I'm going to be making formally. And as I make the announcements, if you've been listening long enough, then you know that Vibe Talk is all about changing for the better. And we do that, change for the better. And our changes are going to include this, where we are going to allow you to get online with us on your platform. Can you hear me okay? Good morning, Trish.
Good morning. Yes, I can hear you.
We're going to allow our platform to include 4 hours during the week of nothing but your calls. Did you hear what I said? 4 hours during the week, but nothing but you calling in to let us know what you're going through. And if you are under the age of 18, please call with your parents. We will ask you for your parents' if you are under the age of 18. If you are 18 to 21, we'd love to talk with you. We want to talk with everybody, but of course, because we are the program that we are, we respect all parents. And legally, your parents have the right to be able to know who you're talking to. I'm one of those parents. So, before we go on, because we're working on us today, we are opening up 4 hours during the week. So it's going to be up to you to find us here, okay, live. And if you want to call in, you can do that. The first year we opened, we had so many callers, and I think we can still do that. And it will be 4 hours during the week. And this will start next week. 4 hours. So it's up to you to follow us, to be part of our live. Ray, good morning and welcome. Nice to have you with us. So, 4 hours. And those days are going to include Wednesday and Thursday, possibly Monday. That means when we get online, you're going to look for us and we're going to say sessions in. Why are we doing that? Because your wellness should be important to you. We are giving you every opportunity to be able to access your emotional and mental health. I think that's important. Now, in case you guys didn't hear us, the butterfly that's in the back, you're going to be able to layer your butterflies, use the colors that you want, and you're going to compare your by labeling your butterflies the things that you have worked on versus the things that you are still working on. The things you have worked on. And let's see how well your butterfly, you are blossoming. We work with butterflies in here. So use color, use paint, crayons, markers, have fun with it, but label it. And if you send them in, we'd appreciate it. So back to the Project U, which is our program today. What are you all thankful for today? I am thankful for being able to have something new to talk about every time I come here. I'm thankful for that. And I'm also thankful for getting through the month of July. How quickly we fly by. Trish, what are you thankful for? And Ray, what are you thankful for?
I'm thankful that school's about to start for me. I'm so excited. That's what I'm thankful for.
Yeah. Yeah, school's about to start. So, if you have something inspiring, please, we want to hear from you. Ray says, I'm thankful for being awake and living still. Yeah, yeah. Those things that we take for granted. In case you missed it, our expression through art is to layer our butterflies today. And every layer you're going to label what you've worked on versus what you're still working on, or what you've worked on past and what it looks like presently. There are layers to this butterfly, and everybody should look different. Be creative. And if you really want to work on the assignment, let me know, and we'll send you one. Uh, but you should be able to download this if you touch the back of your screen. And if not, we will send you one. How about that? How about that? We'll send you one, and we want to do you well. Why is that? Because our motto is to be well, get well, and stay well. How do we do that when it comes to ourselves? How do you go about getting well? Because a lot of people will say, well, you're being selfish. To take care of yourself, or when one says to take care of yourself, how many of you think that that's selfish? Anybody? How many?
I used to.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was saying I used to.
And you used to what? Tell me about that experience.
I used to think taking care of myself was kind of selfish because I always wanted to care for other people. But being that I am a spiritual person, it does say love others as you love yourself. So it does start with me before I take care of others. So yeah, I see it different now that I have to take care of myself.
Yeah. Because you cannot pour into yourself if you're always pouring out to others. Thy cup be full. And I'll always say that, taking care of yourself, thinking about yourself in that you're balanced. When you think about yourself, it's not always me, I. Racist positive thinking, and nope, not at all about the selfishness. And so we don't promote selfishness here, just for the record. So, did everybody hear the announcement about 4 hours a week starting next week? Did everybody get that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I did.
4 hours a week. I'm going to make available to anyone, no matter where you live. And that is if you really want the work. And it'll look like sessions in. That's what it'll say every time I'm online. And we're going to see how that works. Lines will be open. You can call in. I'm going to encourage you all to really get involved with that, making us available. Because really, you should challenge yourself for the mental and emotional parts of you. We talked about the apple core the other day. Now we're talking about the butterfly layers. There are so many parts to us. So many parts. I have come to completely understand when people say there are so many moving parts to one situation, but there's so many layers to your one self. There is the spiritual side of us. There is the emotional side of us. There is a psychological part of us, a social part of us, a mental part of us. And that butterfly in all its layers, I want you to see yourself. And I want you to be creative with these layers and being able to say what you want to work on or what you have worked on. You can make it very creative. Yes, that's the psychological part is the moral part. Yeah, yeah. Thank you for that, Ray. So I don't want you to think of yourself as one whole person, because up until the time that you started helping yourself or getting help for yourself, you may have felt like you were split in half. How many people felt like that? Anybody?
I have.
Yeah, you didn't quite feel like the whole person that you knew you could become. You didn't maybe consider yourself as a valuable whole person. I'm speaking from experience. And sometimes in life, do you know what could happen to us? Sometimes in life, we get ourselves in situations that can make us relapse. And we have to realize that when we relapse, we got to stay aware. Sometimes because of life and the events that happens to us, we lose loved ones, we gain new family members. There's so much to us that's going on, and sometimes we let life slip through the cracks of us, and we stop thinking where we are in the presence of time. Ray says, yeah, I had those days. Didn't feel whole. Yeah. So those are the parts of you that you have to stay connected to. And they will slip through the cracks because it's happened to me. It's family drama. And I'm going to pull out family drama. The reason why I want to pull out family drama is because everybody knows what that feels like. There's not one family on the earth that is not experiencing some kind of drama. Do you know it when you see it? Let's start with that. And that has been an experience. You get caught up in it, and then you realize, hey, wait a minute. The new version of me, oh no, that's the layer that I want to heal. That's the part of my layer that I want to fix. It used to look like this, but now I'm looking at it like this, different perspective of things. Or in any type of relationship, if it is toxic and you're working your way to wellness, you can see the toxicity before it even starts. We're not talking about paranoia, we're talking about experience. Because you don't have to be afraid of every relationship. Every relationship is not the same. Ray says old versions shall be cast aside for a new growth in certain situations. Yes. And that's what the butterfly wings represent in here. Those wings represent versions of you that you may not have discovered. How many of you have noticed that we work with butterflies a lot here? Anybody? Yeah.
I do.
There's a reason for it. We can get down into the very wing of the butterfly and begin to discover ourselves and peel away at the layers that we are so similar to a butterfly. We're fragile, delicate, we're full of wonder. We discover things about ourselves. Yeah. He said, Ray said he thought it was a favorite animal, but he enjoys it. Don't you come to realize, thank you for that, Ray. Don't you come to realize difference about a butterfly now that we've talked about it in our group sessions and individually? Because I want you to get the point of something. You know, people get their wings. I hear people say that they've earned their wings today. Well, let's earn our wings while we're still living. That is our butterfly wings to help us to fly, to help us to reach heights above, to help us to challenge the things that we have not challenged in ourselves because we never knew those certain things about ourselves, like the layers that we have. You know, one layer could talk about how you had fear, versus the other layer that's to the right can talk about the opposite of your fear now. Because everybody doesn't progress the same. But in here, what you do is work on you. Work on you because you can become the best versions of yourself. How many times have we looked at somebody and we thought, wow, you know, they would be such a good person if they, and then we started making a list for them. How many of us have done that? I've done that. They'd be such great persons. And there's nothing wrong if we've done that, but here's the catch. They have to want to do that. They have to want to find out and discover themselves. Since you have been in Vibe Talk, how many people have really discovered things about themselves that they didn't know before? Anybody?
I have.
And how's that been for you, Trish?
It's been very good. I would say it like this, that I can see myself in a better perspective, a better point of view, and uh being that I learn and discover so much things about me, I can live with myself because I learned who I am. So yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Finding out about yourself. And I can say that's very true, Trish. And the reason why I can say good morning for those of you who are coming in. Good morning and thank you for joining us as we are working on ourselves today and becoming the best versions of ourselves on this Wellness Wednesday. If you see a blue writing to the left of your screen, please tap on it and subscribe to our YouTube page. And we are talking about yourselves being the best projects. Ray says, I discovered I enjoy silence more than loud settings, like more like a park than a party. Yeah, parts of you that you've discovered. I want these butterfly wings to bring out the versions of you. You can be creative. If you want to create a butterfly to talk about past and present, each wing is going to represent something. Let me know by your doing it, and let's see what we can create together. Now, as we look at where we've been versus where we are today, this day, Thursday, the last day of July, summer 2024, you're going to discover more things about yourself. And I'll tell you what, for those of you who have kept coming here, you're coming here for a reason. You don't have to, but you come here for a reason. And we want to make it so that more people will discover themselves. I'm just a life coach, and what I have done is discover things about myself. Does that surprise any of you? I'm discovering who I am. I'm discovering places that I don't want to be anymore. And I'm so grateful for finding that within myself. Just because a person is a life coach doesn't mean that they don't have any problems. They too need to fix things. If you have a broken wing, something that symbolically means in your life, something that you need to fix or repair, how are you going to go about to fix it? Because butterflies have tears in their wings and they're not aware of it. Well, their speeds of flight are so awesome that they can still fly with a tear in their wing. What does that say about you? Many of you have been broken. Many of you are still repairing the brokenness within you. And I'm not giving you any answers. I've been so grateful for this platform because this is a way to reach real, honest-hearted people. Trisha and I, we talk about how this page, if it were flooded with thousands of people, sometimes you go on to your Facebook, your Instagram, and everybody's coming in and you're waiting for everybody to jump on. This is the page that people should jump on. This is the page that people should jump on. Can't make that. Why is it that we won't fix ourselves? We have a list for everyone else. If I were to have a session where everybody would pass the paper and have a list for everyone else, that would really be something. Ray says I'm one strong butterfly. The assignments in here, it's not school. It's just helping you to work on yourself and with yourself and within yourself. Because every time your child comes home from school, or you've come home from school and you have a project, it is an expression of you. Yes, some of those assignments are required if you're a college student or high school student, but even from the little tiny babies, I discovered something when I was taking early childhood development, that all those projects, there's a meaning behind them. So the projects that I give out, it's not school. You don't have to do it. But the more that you do it, the more that you work on it. And we can even work on it. Some of the assignments that I've given, I have brought them into sessions. I don't know if you guys know that, but I have. And people have enjoyed them. There's always evaluation or intake. And I'm not a doctor, but I want to know what a person thinks. If you were to color your butterfly all black with no words of expression, what would you think? That's a twisted question. But what would you guys think? I just want to show you something. Because art has a funny way of speaking. Everybody get that? Black is a color that, okay, we like that color because it is a color, but no words. You had nothing to say. I would think that you were a dark person. How many of you thought that? Anybody?
I
Yeah,
did.
Ray says that one broken, that one is broken. Yeah. So I want you to be the people in these butterflies that you see yourself as. Every year, I don't know about you, Trish, but I get excited because every year, Trish and I are going to work with a whole new set of people. We're going to have regulars that come in. Even if Trish gets to the point where she's not in a position to host anymore, there's still going to be a whole new set of people. We want you to always be aware that you can get well. You can become better than you were the day before. That is, unless you want the dark cloud to hang over you. Some people like the rain. Some people work better in the stormy weather. But I want you to be able to see some sunshine. And yes, I like dancing in the rain. I have seen growth. I'm going to tell you, I've seen growth with you, Trish, and I've seen growth with Ray. I couldn't get you guys to talk. Not really, but you guys are here, you're talking, and I know if you're not here, something is wrong. Trish, you would become the host or co-host. Butterflies tend to not go back to the caterpillar stage. Your wings are representing what you can do. Your wings. Instead of you having wings as a person, you have two hands. And your two hands are capable of doing a lot. How many of you, when you went to your grandparents or your aunts or relatives and they said, here, have some candy, and they opened the jar and you got the candy? How many of you have had that experience of getting candy?
I
How
have.
many hands do you fill up?
Both?
Yeah, yeah. I've always said this. We have to be like that, reaching for that candy. We would do all that is in our power to get that candy. If it's filled with Snickers, I'm going to do both hands. Because I'm reaching that candy. Yeah. He says he asked before he grabbed, and to each hand. See, we're like that, so we have to use all the parts of us. We know that one hand is not going to be good enough, so we're going to reach, especially if that candy jar has got some candy that we really like. It has to be Snickers or Reese's for me. Okay? So let life be just like that, where your hands are full to reach their fullest potential. There are people walking among us. You, 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 and you. That won't reach their full potential. There are people that want you to give them all the answers. Even when going into this type of work, I promised myself that I would make everyone work just as hard as I had to work to peel the layers of myself. If you haven't already, can you do me a favor? Can you guys go back and listen to the was it Monday, Trish, on the Apple Core?
Yeah, it was
Yeah,
Monday.
go back and listen to that. Because right now we're in the phase of talking about the layers of us. Ray says I like gummies or anything taffy. Me too. And I always like the green taffy. Yeah. So it's important to discover things about ourselves. Sometimes we've been here and we've discovered not so good things about ourselves. Not so good things about ourselves. But what do we do when we find the not so good things about ourselves? You know, a butterfly is not able to check his wing. You might see a butterfly that isn't as amazing as the next. If you've ever been to a butterfly place, uh, you see different kinds of butterflies, different designs. He's not able to say, well, I don't like that design. I want to be something else. So what's he going to do with it? He learns to adjust to something. See, humans are far more superior because when we notice something about ourselves, we automatically want to change it or even deny it. Do you guys find that to be true? Those who are listening around the world today. We find something within ourselves that we don't like, or we discover something about ourselves that has made us sick. Toxic things make me sick, and naturally so. So, like I was saying earlier, sometimes because of life, we don't realize that we can fall through the cracks, and uh-oh, there we are again. There we are again. So, being awake and aware and noticing things is a time for great change. Transformation Tuesday was yesterday. Change sometimes will allow us to get well. You know, I was sick for the better part of the last 2 weeks Nobody had to tell me I was sick. I just felt sick. How many of us get in our situations and we are sick and we tell ourselves, I don't know what to do? Do we do that? Do we do that to ourselves? Have we ever been, you all ever been in a situation that has made you sick? Well, what do? We take care of it. Use your butterfly wings to take care of what you need to do. You are in control of what it is that you need to do. How do you discover it? By doing what you're doing now. Some of us are not great teachers about ourselves. But to teach oneself is to educate everyone else. Come a little closer to me. I said to teach oneself is to educate everyone else. And I want you all to educate yourselves. Don't walk around inside of your house bodies, your layers of yourself, and not understand it. When you need that moment to be able to talk to someone, I want you, and I'm going to say this, and I know you guys are going to think it's crazy, but you know me, you've been with me long enough to know. I don't care. If you have no one to talk to, start talking to yourself. Start making a list of things that you notice about yourself. That's what the layers are going to help you to do. When you label each part of this butterfly and you design this butterfly, Those are going to be what you need to do versus what you want to do or what you want to get better at. Some of you are going to be awakened to awareness. Try these assignments. You're going to like them. And they're used for the purpose of educating yourself. I'm really thinking about when I started teaching how I could have used this during school because it helps so many people. Some of us are walking around inside of ourselves not understanding that we are the best projects to work on. People ask you, what are you working on? And you say, I'm working on myself today. How many of you have ever had that happen? I'm just working on myself today. Because if you spent even 10 minutes, 5 minutes at the most, working on yourself, and you say, Miss Nisi, I don't know what to work on. By doing this butterfly project, you're going to discover what you would like to work on. Ray says, I do that anyway, having full-blown conversations with myself. Yeah, you said you had that a month ago. So you see, it's not something crazy or far-fetched. Why do we do it? Because we do ask ourselves questions. Some of us ask ourselves some of the hardest questions. Let me think of one with my eyes closed. Why does nobody like me? How many of you have asked that question?
I have.
Yeah. So you guys know that I'm not far-fetched, right? You know that I'm not picking stuff out of a hat. And Trish, I want to tell you, you're not alone. Time and time again, I have worked with people that have asked that question. Why do I feel so unworthy? Good morning and welcome for those who are coming in. Please give me your name and initials if you don't want to use a real name. And thank you for joining. Some of us ask even harder questions. You know that question? Why does no one like me? It gets even harder in layers. And it sounds like this. How many of you have said this? Why do I not like myself? You see the layers? How many of you have said that?
I have.
I have. I can identify with that. You see the layers? Some of us even go beyond the surface and we start to tear our layers apart and say, we're not good enough. We don't ask ourselves that. We tell ourselves that. How many of you have done that? Yeah, Ray says, yeah. I said a couple of times in my dark moment. Go ahead, Trish, you were going to say?
I was gonna say I have.
Yeah, yeah. See, this is why we have to go through layers in life, because there's so many parts of us. Ray talked about a dark time. Sometimes in the most confusing times in our life, we say to ourselves, we're unworthy. We're invaluable. Nobody loves us. But that's why we need to go through the layers of ourselves. Yes, you're one big body, or yes, you're one small body, or tall body, or thin body, whatever you may be. But to you, there are many layers. How many of you can see this butterfly in the background? Anybody?
I can see it.
Yeah. Do you see all the layers to it? See how?
Yeah, I see it.
Yeah. That's how we are. We're very detailed, very intricate. We are far more superior than creation. You like the wing design? Yeah. We are far superior than anything on the earth. Human. And we tear ourselves into shreds, layer by layer. How many of you have experienced that? See, we're going to put those layers back together. If we feel fear, one of your layers should be fear. If we feel trust issue, one of them should be distrust. If we're feeling joy at the moments of our life, because there are moments in our life where we're beyond the depression, we're beyond the sadness. When we lose someone in death, we may grieve them and then move into being hurt that they're not here, or mad that they're no longer with us. We've all experienced that. And that's what I want you to do with your butterflies today, to understand your layers. See, you can understand, if you were in a science class, you could understand the butterfly. And you would probably pass with a flying color of an A plus or above. I want you to educate first yourself and then others. Every teacher there ever was had to be educated first. What's the irony of that? So when you say you got a dumb teacher or your teacher's an idiot, that's not so, because your teacher had to be educated. And that's what I want you guys to do, be educated. I want to be educated. People are walking around here, don't know what's wrong with them. Vibe Talk has helped me to understand people in a way that I've never understood people. In fact, I was in a conversation just last night, and I said to the person who said to me, and I'm not going to get into the logistics of the conversation, but it's the reasoning of people. Now, I said I was in the work of education. As you all know, I was a teacher before. Well, I still am a teacher because I teach everyone that comes here the education that I've learned from myself. And I hope I'm teaching somebody something. Each one teach one. That's my belief. But I'll tell you one thing. The more educated that you are, the more that you can really reason and think things out. Just because someone says something doesn't mean that you believe everything, or do you have your own mind and your own thinking. I'm not a person who likes followers. Seriously. But I want you all to be educated in layering yourself, knowing what your layers are. When you're feeling a new feeling, you are smart enough to be able to tell me what that feeling is. And we can get into some sound offs in here. That's going to also be another feature of ours. Trish and I are currently working up that and how it will look. We've done one and we was so happy to do that one. Sound off, because when I tell you about layers, I can get into some really deep things and new feelings, newfound feelings, and being excited. Because fear is the thing that really dominates us. Everyone knows what fear is. If I were to go around the room and ask about your fear and how you've experienced it, you're going to give me a different story or something similar, but it won't be the same. But the common thread of fear is going to be the same. That emotion is the same. When we all say, go see a scary movie, right? We all know what a scary movie is, right? So we know that we're going to go see a scary movie. We know that experience. Or we know the emotion, I should say, because I'm getting you guys confused. The emotion and the experience may be different because we have levels of fear, we have levels of scary, all of that. But I want you to think about your project, you. You are the greatest project that you will ever have to work on. Some people are fine with who they are. They have nothing to change. They don't want to change. They're fine. But I want you to think about yourself as if you were that butterfly. You get to color that any color you want. It can be the most colorful butterfly because your feelings have different color to them. Did you guys know that? Remember the color wheel we did? How many of you knew that? Nobody knew it?
I
Yeah,
do.
yeah. Feelings have different colors. So, you just had an idea. What's your idea? We want to hear your idea. And after this, we're going to be right back after Ray tells us. Says he had an idea. What was your idea? We're going to be right back. Going to be right back. We promise. Don't go anywhere as we talk about Project You for this Wednesday Wellness. We'll be right back with Trisha's Treasures. It's Trish, your co-host from vibetalkfacingthelionpodcast. And here's where to find us in our information. We do accept donations. You can send it to our Cashapp, which is vibetalkfacethelion. And send us voice messages as well through Spotify and our direct connect, which is 661-523-8993, which is the first information that you'll see on our YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel is also works the resource of our updated videos along with Facebook with any up-to-date videos or reels or any posts that we're doing. Instagram mostly promotes the positive quotes and reels of our podcast and our radio show, which is Vibe Talk After Dark Radio Show, which happens Saturday night. Does have a specific time, and our slogan is "What song can we play for you?" And that is also hosted by our host of Vibe Talk Face the Lion podcast. You can find all of that on iHeartRadio and our Spotify. we are back on this Wednesday Wellness. We encourage you to get well, stay well, be well. Here's Trish for Trish's Treasures.
I was watching a art TV show that I used to watch as a kid. I'm pretty sure you all know Bob Ross. He would be painting on PBS Kids, and
I think we lost something. Yes.
sorry.
Remember.
Sorry. Yeah, we would I was watching his artwork this morning, and I was looking up information on what inspired him to be an artist. And before, he was a carpenter with his father. He would do if you guys don't know what a carpenter is, they shape wood into shapes, or they make tables and other things with wood. That's what a carpenter is. And then he didn't know how to paint. So after he got out of the military, he was wondering what kind of person he would be. So he decided to learn his own style of painting. And as he learned that, he continued to shape himself into a person, into his own artist, and who he wanted to be versus who he was. So this project, it made me think about how who I am now versus who I was before, who I want to be today to who I don't want to be and what I don't want to be, like how I was in the past. And the way I drew my butterfly, I can't wait to show you guys. The way I drew my butterfly is it's showing the depths of that. For colors, I decided to make my right side of the wing a brighter color because I'm at a brighter state in the present of who I am now. And before, I'm drawing the left wing in a darker shade because I'm seeing it as who I was before. And this assignment is basically reflecting and comparing who you were before versus now, or what can you do better, and what are you doing better. And that all has to do with self-reflection and getting to know yourself. There's so many questions I would ask myself, what others would say about me and things when I was younger and being bullied and things. And I had to come to a realization, am I going to program my life into what others think about me or what I think about me? Am I going to allow my life and how I feel about other people and the trauma to drive me into being afraid of interacting with other people? I'm still working on it, but I'm doing so much better, and that's another thing I'm gonna put on my right side. I'm doing so much better with communicating with people, expressing how I feel, because it is scary to express how you feel, but it is also healthy. So when you do this assignment, be creative in who you are. It is about you and how you see yourself in your own reflection.
Yeah, that part, Trish. Thank you so much. Nice explanation. We have a comment from Ray. Ray talks about stages of growth from a caterpillar to butterfly with color theory. Yes, you understand the assignment. Didn't Trish do a nice explanation of why we're working on that butterfly? I love that, Trish. Thank you so much. Stay educated here. So, as we think about our best projects, I want you to think about you. I want you to contrast and compare, but I want you to be well in your feelings. You know, because there was a time when all of us spoke unto ourselves very unhealthy. We were very unhealthy at one time, speaking into ourselves. Make sure that we are learning the layers of ourselves. And today, I hope that you'll see that. Our last question of the day is, what did you learn and discover about yourself? And we want to hear from you guys. Whatever platform you listen to, okay, as you hear us streaming, you're always able to leave a voice message on our Spotify. I think iHeartRadio has one too that you can leave a message. Please do that so we know where you're listening from. Tell us what you think. Don't be shy because we know you guys are listening. And how did it make you feel, today's project? I'll start with me. I learned and discovered that for a human has the most intensifying job to do, and that is to peel back all of those layers. How does that make me feel? Vulnerable? It makes me know that even through vulnerability, my layers can empower someone else. If at first I understand them. How did you all do? What did you learn, Trish and Ray?
I learned that it's good to remember where I was versus who I am now, because it's motivation to continue to be who I am now, and I'm happier this way. And I feel like for me that it's easy to relapse. It's easy to go back to where I was, but it's so much work to stay in the person that I am. And each day that I work to stay into this mindset, the positive mindset that I have versus the dark mindset that I used to have, I feel like I'm very proud of myself, and it's so much purpose in the work to keep that positivity inside of me, to keep this person to be the real me. And my feelings here today, I would also say it was very vulnerable.
Yeah. Thank you so much for that. We will leave an empty one of these, and Trish, it will look very much like the background looks. So I will send that to you to leave on our Facebook page, and you know how to connect and link the podcast for this. Because I think everyone should work on this. We've got some beautiful artists out there. And thank you, Trish, for the one about Bob. What was that? What's his name? That does the painting?
Bob Ross.
Bob Ross. Because it's funny that you said that. Because a few weeks ago, I looked him up too, because I used to watch Bob Ross when I was growing up. so, so yeah, when I was a kid, I used to watch Bob Ross. Thank you all for joining us today. We're going to be on Facebook, Instagram. Go check that out. If you're where you see blue writing on the left side, please click into that. Become our YouTube channel. Trisha's fixing that up so nicely. Thank you so much. Ray says he's proud of himself with his growth and easy to reflect on his old actions. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. Until next time, because there will be a next time, okay? We will see you and we bid you to get well soon. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you next time.